traditional rulers and with the people of Nigeria, unveils 3 major bridges: the Loko Oweto Bridge, the second Niger Bridge, and the Econ bridges, a completed section of over 200 kilometers of road on the Kano-Kaduna Highway, and 3 new federal secretariats in Guzo, Oka, and Yenigua. Today, Mr. President will connect Benue to Nasarawa on the Loko Oweto Bridge, Cross River to Benue on the Econ Bridge, and Anambra to Delta on the second Niger Bridge, and literally connect many parts of Nigeria to themselves. In the same vein, we will link Kano to Kaduna on the Kaduna Highway, on the Kaduna-Kano Highway, and we will impact Zamfara, Bayelsa, and Anambra again directly through their secretariats. This is a story of development and a story of people, all of which cannot be fully told here. But I will try, starting from the President himself and Commander-in-Chief, whose leadership, support, and opportunity afforded us to serve has made all this possible. There is the story of the cabinet members, from His Excellency the Vice President, and my colleagues, ministers in the cabinet, whose support for the various memoranda in council made these projects possible. Some of those memoranda that you spent hours to debate and approve have now yielded some fruit. Of course, there is a story of our legislators in both chambers of parliament who were part of this development. They appropriated, they approved where necessary, and oversighted all through the projects, but they never obstructed. There's a story of the state governors, their commissioners, and their traditional rulers. This story must be told about how the federal, state government, and traditional institutions can and must work together to deliver development and prosperity. The story of men and women who worked on these construction sites is an unforgettable one. Not only were these site places of employment for them to earn a living, to support their families, I saw in them men and women, boys and girls, involved in the dignifying and patriotic work of nation building. The story of the economic activity that took place at these sites is a most compelling one. Thousands of tons of construction materials, sand, cement, diesel, reinforcement, bitumen, aggregates were bought, sold, and transported over the period. This was a period of boom for small and family-owned businesses who supplied the contractors. It is perhaps the clearest narrative about how infrastructure benefits the people and how this drives the services sector of the economy that employs the most people. It is the story of how the Muhammadu Buhari policies meet the people at their point of need, even if many of those people will never meet Muhammadu Buhari in person. Another story to tell is that prosperity is already being delivered by these projects. Travel time is reduced in more than 50% in many of the places that we surveyed. Property values of landowners have appreciated by up to 30% in surveys conducted on land values where we have delivered infrastructure. These are some of the attempts by this government to push back against multidimensional poverty, because the Loko Oweto Bridge now reduces travel time to Abuja by 4 hours, and with the second Niger Bridge, it will now take only a few minutes instead of hours to cross the River Niger, which is a crossing of approximately 1.5 kilometers. The Calabar port also now has a story of improved patronage to tell, and efficient import and export business can only help in the pushback against poverty. With regards to the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, I want to tell the story of a successful working relationship with the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority under the previous managing director, Mr. Uche Oji, and also the present one, Aminu Umar Sadiq, and their management team. They were worthy managers and custodians of the Presidential Infrastructural Development Fund. I cannot forget the story also of my working relationship with Your Excellency's office through your chiefs of staff, the late Abba Kyari of blessed memory, and of course, the amiable Professor Ibrahim Gambari. With their collaboration, the Attorney General, and of course, the Minister of Finance, Budget, and National Planning, we have delivered the second Niger Bridge. We have delivered 200 kilometers out of 365 kilometers of the Kano-Abuja Highway, and we have delivered 114 kilometers of the 127 kilometers Lagos-Ibadan Highway. Mr. President, please permit me to pause here by those who may wonder why the Lagos-Ibadan Highway is not being commissioned also today. There's a critical section in the 4-kilometer last mile to Lagos, and it's technical, but what has delayed it really is we found black cotton soil under the pavement, and we have decided that we will remove it and we will replace it so that we do a proper job instead of a hurried commissioning. So that will be deferred to the next administration, and the expected completion date is 30th of June. But it is now my pleasure, sir, to invite you, Your Excellency, to dedicate and hand over the following projects for public use. The first is the Zamfara Federal Secretariat, Guzo, the Bayelsa Federal Secretariat, Yenegua, the Anambra Federal Secretariat in Oka, the Ikon Bridge in Cross River, the Loko Oweto Bridge linking Nasarawa and Benue. And because my colleagues in Cabinet and the governors of the Southeast who have spoken to me have decided that the second Niger Bridge must have a name, in consultation with them, we have decided that you will also declare open the Muhammadu Buhari second Niger Bridge, linking Anambra and Delta. And of course, 200 kilometers of Kaduna-Kano dual carriageway. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.